All right, we're starting on time. Imagine that. All right, thanks everyone for joining us for another storage meetup. If this is one of your first times coming here, I appreciate you joining us. It's a free flowing conversation. Welcome to put you know comments, questions, anything in chat. We can bring you up if you like to discuss it amongst the group. If you're on here, turn your camera on. It's always nice to be able to see everyone's faces. That's kind of the whole point. And also to get started
I'm on.
for these storage meetups, we do these show and tells. If you haven't been to these before, the show and tell is we got 10 minutes. Hey, you got to show us kind of what you got going on in your with your vendor. It's mostly vendors in the industry. Then we'll open up to some questions, and then many times that kind of leads to the whole conversation for the rest of the meetup. But for today, got a special guest here. We got Chuck Gordon here with us from Storeable. And I'll just hand it over to you for the next 10 minutes. So go right ahead, Chuck.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. Very excited to be here. For all of those here who I haven't met, my name is Chuck Gordon. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Storeable. I'm joined today by Taylor Yarborough, who's our VP of Product, and Austin Jones, who's our Senior Director of Sales. And we're going to be showing you some cool stuff and answering some questions. We only have 10 minutes, which, of course, as you can imagine, created a debate about what we should talk about for 10 minutes. One thing we thought about was, hey, should we address the popular rumor that all of our competitors like to put out in the market that SiteLink is going away? Well, guess what? It's not. SiteLink is going to outlive us all. And in fact, we have a lot of really cool innovation coming to SiteLink this year, including being able to do everything you need to do at the site in MyHub and no longer needing to install the application, going into beta at the end of March. So not only is it not going anywhere, don't let anyone tell you it is. There's more cool stuff coming at a faster pace than you've ever seen before. The second option we talked about was going through latest industry stats, occupancy trends, all that stuff. But we decided this probably wasn't the right format for that because we just published our latest industry pulse, which you can download on our website. And we also have an upcoming webinar where we're co-hosting with Radius on the 26th, where we're going to go much deeper into data, including taking a look at their annual forecast. So definitely would love to see you guys there. So anyway, instead of trying to squeeze any of that stuff in, we decided to focus on one very specific thing that we've been spending a lot of time on lately, and that is around data and AI. Over the last 3 months, our team and I specifically have spent a ton of time on the road meeting with customers in person. I've been to about 30 different customer offices since the beginning of this year. And that's just not me. We've had a bunch of other people doing the same and having literally thousands of customer conversations. And so we've been trying to figure out kind of what's the pulse, what are the themes that people are talking about in the market right now. And some of the themes that have come through are that teams are leaner than they've been in years. There are less people in the corporate office responsible for more sites, more customers, and more decisions, which means less time to dig through reports, less margin for error, and a lot more context switching throughout the day. The second is that the data exists, but it's fragmented and it's living across multiple systems, multiple reports, multiple spreadsheets, and getting a simple answer often means jumping between tools or pulling someone away from their work. Some people are doing some cool AI stuff to make that less burdensome, but the friction is real. And that thirdly, cost and margin pressure are very real for everyone. Costs are going up faster than rents, and occupancy is difficult, and everyone's really feeling that. I can't even think of a single example of someone who wasn't dealing with that in some way. And then, of course, there's AI. So there's a lot of interest. There's also skepticism. Most folks are looking to use it somehow, but they don't exactly know what to do. So today, we're going to show a concrete example of how we're taking what we're learning from these conversations and using them to shape our approach to product development and innovation. And so I'm going to ask Taylor to walk through a short video demo of our new business intelligence product with AI conversations built in. It's not a standalone tool. It's not another dashboard. It's connected to your real operational data in the software. It understands customer contexts, and the goal ultimately is to help you get answers faster in the software immediately. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Taylor to show you the demo.
Thanks, Chuck. Sorry, everybody, my video is not working, so you'll just have to imagine what I look like today. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you, Holly. So, like Chuck mentioned, we recently launched our business intelligence reports. So we have a number of new reports and dashboards that you can interact with, and you can see your data trended over time, and you can get in there and sort and filter and ultimately drill into all of the detail behind each of those data points and see what's really making that up. You can also get into that dashboard and that look and customize it or build your own dashboard on your own, all within the tool. But what we've really found is we want to help y'all move from insight to action. And one of the ways that we're doing that is with AI capabilities to let you directly chat with your data. And I want to walk you through an example here of one of the conversations with one of our agents. So I started by asking this agent to help me identify facilities where my revenue is the farthest below gross potential and help recommend some strategies to optimize that. So I was able to go through our demo facility, identify where we have revenue gaps, and most importantly, why. And then it was able to help make some recommendations on what to do. So for one facility, it recommended an audit because we have a lot of unrentable units there. And for another, it recommended a change in the rate increase strategy. So I started with the first example and I asked it to generate essentially a walkthrough list for the property manager to do a walkthrough. So you can see we had 73 unrentable units, which woof, that's a lot. And so I asked the agent to prioritize that and really help us. It recommended that we make an action plan to bring those back to a rentable status. So from there, I asked the agent to go ahead and write an email for me to send to that property manager. And so it drafted that note. It let them know how much revenue was being left on the table. So there's about $10,000 a month sitting with those unrentable units. It attached the data so that they could go and audit those units and ultimately report back to me with a plan to bring those back to rentable status. So let's assume that I solved that very big occupancy problem with that one email and shift over to our other facility. So for Edge Demo 2, remember the agent recommended that we look at the rate increase strategy. So I gave it some parameters and asked me, how much incremental revenue would I generate implementing this strategy? I didn't want to hit tenants with more than 30%, and I didn't want to hit tenants who had already had a rate increase or hadn't been there more than 3 months. And it let me know I'd generate about $1,100 of incremental revenue. With this strategy, it told me how many impacted tenants I would have and how many would get that rate increase if I wanted to cap it at the standard rate. And that'd be about $16 per tenant. So then it let me know, your next step, go ahead and audit that and take a review, see if I want to make any manual adjustments, and then ultimately execute on that rate increase strategy. So this is just kind of one example of what we have cooking and one use case of how the agent can help you make decisions. But ultimately, our goal is to, again, help you move from insight to action and interact with your data in a very conversational way to make those decisions on a day-to-day basis. So
Awesome.
that's all from me. Back to you, Chuck.
Awesome. Thank you, Taylor. And looking forward to answering questions about that as we get into this. But I think to Taylor's point, what you're seeing here is just one example of how we're thinking about getting data and decision making into our customers' hands in a more actionable and real way. Our view is that operators shouldn't have to have expensive custom data warehouses, BI teams full of analysts, or perfectly curated reports just to understand what's happening in your business. And with today's technology and AI, we can deliver that to anyone, anywhere. We're living in a world where I, who've never written a line of code in my life, can create my own web application and do all kinds of things that I previously thought were impossible. And that's the kind of thing that we're trying to enable all of our customers to be able to go do too. We're still learning. Your feedback really matters. We're looking forward to iterating on this and all of our other products based on your feedback. And yeah, it's an exciting time. So I'll just give one plug. We are hosting a happy hour at the upcoming SSA show along with Storage Pug and DaVinci and Swivel. And it's going to be at a place called Howl at the Moon. Look out for an invite. But we'd love to see all of you guys there in person too. So with that, I think we are at exactly 10 minutes, Jim. Look at that. We
Look
did
at
it.
that. You get the gold star. And honestly, that's kind of why I do that. Kind of confine it to that time because you get to show something cool. There's no fluff. And that was awesome. That was amazing. I mean, just when you first started talking about, we have leaner teams and things like that, that's, you got to do more with less. And man, what you just showed at that business intelligence agent, that's a whole team right there. That is cool.
Jim, I got a sneak peek of this last year at Storeable's Cab, and Taylor, you were right. You said you were going to blow us away, and girl, you did. I mean, that is impressive. I mean, think of the time effort it's going to save and how much better it's going to make. Randy, I see your eyes popping, dude. I'm sure you got all kind of like, oh, we can do this, we can do that. So for an operator like Willie, for you, for pricing up in Bluebird, I mean, that's going to make your life so much easier and faster on doing that and pulling that data through it. It's just, wow.
And one thing I'll add too that's really important and why we think we have a unique opportunity to bring this kind of innovation to market is around data security. So if you just dumped a bunch of your data into ChatGPT, then one, it's not going to have the context of all the rest of your operating data. But two, unless you're using the super expensive enterprise grade licenses, then you're basically just giving all of your data to the LLM that it could theoretically go share with anyone else if queried. So when it's easy maybe for you to say, oh, well, I'll just go buy the license for myself. But if you're kind of wanting to enforce a data security standard for your team to make sure that they're not accidentally dumping your data anywhere, doing it in a safe and secure place is really, really important. And that's just going to be more important in the future.
See a question here in the chat. And again, any questions, put in the chat, raise your hand. That's what we're here for. Asking about when I was giving those recommendations, are you able to then have it automatically implement those recommendations? Or is it more just, here's what you need to do, and then it's up to the user to implement?
Yeah, great question. So our initial launch right now is with the agent recommending and then the operator needing to still take the action.
Yep.
We are rapidly innovating here, and we know that we want to bring that in context in the FMS so that you are then more validating those recommendations and decisions right where you're kind of taking the action. So the team is thinking through that now and working through how we're going to bring that to market. But the initial launch that's coming in beta at the spring shows here very soon will be just the recommendations that you then take action on separately.
Which is great, though, honestly, because I think that's how, the operators, especially the smaller operators, like me and that, seeing those kind of recommendations, I think it sharpens your tools. It helps you to know what better to look out for and what to do. And then you just don't want to mindlessly just say, go ahead and do it. I think it is
for sure
to be a part of that and help implement it. But just briefly what you just showed, I think just showing a lot of those recommendations, it's going to make the operators kind of punch above their weight. they're
Yeah,
be,
exactly.
Hey, Taylor,
I think this is the year of David and Goliath.
Yeah, exactly.
Taylor, is this going to have a history log that when it does these things, you can go back and look at previous history and see what you maybe did or didn't do and kind of bring it back, circle around, or is it just live and then the next one goes on there? Is there going to be some kind of history tracking or reporting on that?
Yeah, so the chats that you have, you'll be able to review the history, go back through, maybe recycle your prompts if you liked how that worked before, and you'll have access to that information. In terms of when you take the action, that's happening in the FMS, and you'll use kind of your standard audit logs or reports within the FMS to actually validate those actions, if that makes sense.
Jim, there's another question from Willie up in Bluebird.
Where are we at here? Oh, okay. See if you want to answer this. Will this be an added expense for current Storeable users, or is it more of a value add?
Great question. So we're doing a model where basically there's going to be a free version that everyone who's already a current Storeable FMS user will be able to access. And then there's going to be some premium features that if you want to be a heavy power user of this thing, for example, that you can upgrade to. but everyone will get access to a basic version of it.
Cool.
That's great. Now you're just mentioning how just people are still kind of wondering. Okay, I know about AI. I know it's out there. How do I use it? How do I take those first steps? Something like this, where it's conversational, it's that chatbot. That is the first step, frankly.
Agreed.
Being able to go through that and just kind of seeing, wow, it's discovering things I didn't even know about my own business, and I think that's a great first step. That's a great kind of a aha of like, wow, okay, now what else can I do? And that will lead it down the path of AI voice agents and all the other everything else that we're talking about here. But I think just having that conversation of like having that AI agent being part of the team of looking at your operations, I think that is the first step, at least in my mind.
Agreed.
And any other questions, comments? Now's your chance. Also, make sure you put in the chat, you guys. You said you had a webinar coming up. Please plug away. If you got a link to it, put it in there.
Yeah, Holly will stick that in there.
So Taylor, there was a question I thought of. Just using this thing through either SiteLink or storage. Is there going to be a separate dashboard I got to log into, or can you get to it from your FMS now?
Yeah, great question. So with single sign-on, you'll be able to launch directly out of the FMS. It does pop you into another window, but it launches from Edge directly from the reporting tab. And we're working on the SiteLink integration as well, and it'll launch from MyHub.
All right, Taylor, you might want to explain, because I know some people are, but some people are not on single sign-on yet.
Yep, exactly. And that if you are like, hey, you say that these reports are out, but I haven't seen them yet, and you're an Edge user, you need to first enable single sign-on. That's how we're making sure that all the data and permissions and things carry over to the reports. So if you go into the reporting tab of Edge, you can, there's prompts to enable single sign-on, and then you'll have those reports directly embedded in Edge.
And you guys have worked through some of the bugs for single sign-on. People have multiple stores, multiple sites, multiple logins that aren't exactly the same. You got all that bugs worked out, right?
We have been iterating a lot on the single sign-on as well as the actual experience. So we just launched a new version this week, actually, that is only a couple of steps. So just a much simpler onboarding experience, which those who went through the initial one gave us a great amount of feedback. Thank you. And we've rolled that out and now have a brand new, more streamlined version.
I can tell you, using single sign-on, I was one of your first guinea pigs. We went through it, but it's definitely a lot smoother now than it was. So it definitely makes life easier.
Yes, thank you to the guinea pigs. You'll always help us out.
And is this going to be applied for all of the different software, SiteLink, Edge, Easy?
Yep, so we are working through bringing more data into our data warehouse now. So we've got Edge live. We're working on SiteLink. We're also working on the other products as well. So supplementing with additional data from Sparefoot, for example, or websites, etc.
Right. Taylor or Holly, somebody should drop your contact or email in chat that if people have other questions, they can reach out to anybody on your team or whoever, so that they continue the conversation. Because they're going to have somebody, oh, I forgot to ask this, but I would put a contact in chat, that way somebody can reach out. Thank you,
Great.
Taylor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Chuck,
great call.
I gotta apologize. I was one of those thinking SiteLink is going to be putting out to pasture. They're focusing on other things, so sorry, my bad.
Hey, I'm glad that we were able to clear that up.
And
No,
Chuck,
seriously.
I can tell you, I argued with him left and right, saying, no, Chuck told me it's not going to happen. And he goes, no, 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 no. And we were back and forth a lot. So
Good.
There you go, from the horse's mouth.
Exactly. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time and doing that. It was it's exciting. I mean, there's so many different words I can say about that, but just with AI, it's coming fast. It's coming quick. People keep saying, "Oh, it's coming." No, it's here.
no,
It's already here.
and
Don't
it
put
has
your-
evolved 100 times since it's been here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can't put your head in the sand. Embrace it. What you just showed, it makes you better. It enhances what you already have in your operations. It can, frankly, show some things that maybe some blind spots you may have been ignoring for way too long. And that's the thing I love about this stuff. It's just going to make your operation better.
I
And
would love to see it evolve where it could bring in some outside sources, like maybe from Kale's review platform. You could bring in some of your Google reviews and use that data to help upload just build that bigger picture with all the pieces. And somebody put in here earlier about the gate axis. If you're using the PDK software, being able to use that data as well for length of stay and rate increases and all those things. If you can start bringing that data in and have a bigger part of that to understand traffic and access and all that stuff to help with the ECRIs, that's just huge.
Yeah, 100%. So that one's actually straightforward. And Taylor, I don't know that some version of that may already even be in there
I know
because it's
I'm
already.
about to go trial it with the agent. We're in an internal alpha stage and we're seeing, what use cases it's handling well and what we need to keep training it on. But that's great feedback. I love it. Keep the use cases coming.
And
Yeah,
we
because
are
the access control stuff, if you're using the storeable access control, I mean, all that data is already in the system anyway. So that should already be there. And if not, that's easy.
yeah.
The external sources is absolutely something that's on our roadmap and where we feel like we can really help you guys unlock a ton of value. So not live yet, but absolutely bringing in other third-party data into the same place is part of the plan.
Well, Chuck,
That's great to
I'm
hear.
not
Good
afraid
job.
to ask questions, so we're good.
Yeah, that's great to hear because I feel like that's one of the big pieces that's been missing in ECRIs is the ability to access the data for access control systems and then try to use that for ECRIs. I think it's a massive miss right now in the industry. I think it could be useful.
Agreed.
Great question, Mike.
We're also working right now as well, bringing just other product data in, right? So it starts with the FMS, but we'll also bring in website data if you're using insurance. You got, call potential collections data. We got telephony and tracked phone data, right? So there's a lot of other data points that we can bring into here as well.
great. I'm excited to start playing around with this stuff. So it's exciting time. I can only imagine going to the conferences and seeing the shows and seeing the demos. It's just going to change so quickly. So the fact that you guys are already on here, you're already ahead of the curve. I just
Yeah.
feel bad for some of the people that are not involved and not in this. Man, it's gonna hit them hard. And it's
Hey,
gonna be a
Jim,
different
did you see
conversation.
we have Jessica Johnson and Melissa Stiles on the same camera screen?
Let me see.
That's double trouble right there.
Oh, there you are. What are you guys doing?
I don't even. Oh, just hanging out, working, hanging out.
Causing trouble.
No, we're angels. We're being great. This
I
is
saw
awesome. Hi, Storeable team. Good job today. That was
Hey there.
awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, Chuck.
Chuck, I actually ran over to her computer because I was like, is that Chuck talking?
She did, Chuck. She's like, that's Chuck's voice. I'm like, how do you know that?
That's
bringing out the
impressive.
big guns today. Yeah. I saw
Yeah,
your
you did bring in the big.
I saw your webinar yesterday, Jess. It was great.
Thank you. Thanks for attending.
There was a few of them going on. I've seen a few people that were on here that were on some webinars yesterday. Must have been Thursday webinar day, I swear.
Crazy.
So again, thank you guys for taking the time and being on here. Any other questions, comments? Storables on here. You can message them as well in chat. But I think for the rest of the time, it's pretty free flowing. But I would like to. Go ahead.
Oh, I did have one question for
Yeah.
Storeable. Are you guys working on like an AI call center that would, AI would take inbound coming calls? Is that something you guys are working on?
Like an AI voice agent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So I think we have our own efforts going on around that, which are exciting. And then we also have a bunch of our integrated partners who offer that product today that our customers are already testing out and using. So, if you use a Storeable FMS product, you can already get your hands dirty with that through the partner network. And then, we will be bringing something of our own to market as well in kind of the direction of kind of the suite of agents that we'll be launching over time. And that'll be one of them.
Cool.
And when you say like suite of agents, just so everyone can wrap their mind around it. For agents, they're really good at a specific task. So we were talking about a voice agent, like a revenue management agent, all sorts of different things. You got your operations team, and this is just not just Storeable, but anything in the future for just think of all the people that are on your operations team. You got marketing, your revenue management, you got all the different titles. agents are really good at that specific function. And so we were kind of going back talking about kind of leaner teams. Yeah, you can run lean and mean in this day and age. It's exactly what I'm putting together, right now for my operations and doing my best to try to put these things together because, man, the technology is there when it comes to AI. It's just right now you still clunky. It is still clunky at times, but it's getting so much better, so much faster than it ever has. If any of you guys have been on here that are like, oh, I've messed with ChatGPT in the past, and I don't know, it hallucinated and it kind of gave me a hand with 6 fingers on it, and whatever. Those days are long gone. I mean, if it's been 3 months since you last played with it, go back into it. I guarantee you, whatever tool you played with is totally different.
Well, Jim, that's a question for you. Which one's your favorite right now? Because you got ChatGPT, you got Claude, you got Perplexity. I mean, there's what, 7 or 8 of them out there. What's your go-to one right now?
Still ChatGPT just because OG. That was the original ones where I got, just played around with it so much. But
because it knows you well? Is that why you're not changing? Because it knows you so well? It kind of knows, it's got your tendencies now that you don't want to go start over with another one?
Seriously, that's 90% of the reason why I haven't changed. But I'm not betting against Google. Google Gemini, I mean, you can't bet against that. It's the things that they're bringing out, things you never even heard of. A lot of times you have to research these different projects that they have going on with AI, but everything under the Google banner is just freaking mind-blowing.
Well, maybe
Jim,
Chuck
you could ask
over.
You could ask ChatGPT to create a long-form summary of everything about you that an LLM would need to know to understand you, and then you can paste that into a new one, and you'll be off to the races.
There you go. Yep.
Thanks, Chuck.
It's what you're comfortable with, kind of I don't know, pick your platform because right now they're all so amazing. You can't do wrong. You just can't. Pick one platform, get really good at it, and you'll be fine. It doesn't matter if you're doing it for text, if you're doing it for videos, or whatever. Just pick a platform and just practice.
Have you, Jim? Have you tried to write any code of your own in Claude Code?
I haven't. I'm a Lovable person. I've been using Lovable forever.
Right.
So same kind of thing. Lovable's more for, I don't know, me just kind of playing around with stuff. It's not very technical. And I've probably built, I don't know, 30, 40 different apps on Lovable in the past year. And again, it's one of those things where if you have an idea, literally just type it in and you just watch it getting built in front of you, and you can launch it.
Jim, my son literally just built a website for the game we do. We had different things. He goes, I'm going to build a website. And son of he went on and built a website.
Yeah. No,
he imported stuff, and it's crazy how it's going to work.
Kind of give you the history lesson. If you go to storagemeetup.com, which what this platform is on, that was the third app I ever built on Lovable. It was literally like, I want to put a website out there where it's going to be a community hub. And I was just talking with ChatGPT and I just want this. I just want people to just jump on and free-flowing conversation. We're going to record it. We're going to have some topics. Just what would that look like? Like, holy crap. And then once you see it, like, all right. And then I think 48 hours later, I think I sent a mass email blast out going, hey, if anyone wants to join us and talk. I was kind of committed at that point. But it's just one of those things. You get the idea, build on Lovable, you see it, you can brings it to reality, and it's amazing what you can start doing. The time of softwares and things like that, it's just crazy how fast you can start implementing things. But yeah, if you go look at storagemeetup.com, yeah, that whole platform's built.
Willie, you're so wrong, dude. You are so wrong.
What I miss?
I thought you'd enjoy that. Knows you at all, Jim.
Oh, doing the bull riding. We're back to that. Nice.
Willie, I thought you were my friend. Next time you call me for advice, you're not getting any.
Willie, how could you have not put a Phillies jersey on him while he's bull riding? It's like you don't even know him.
It's fair.
That's awesome.
Quick screenshot.
Now the next step is to animate it, and then there you go. We'll get a video going.
Hey, Jim, can I take one step back and to Kyle's question earlier? Absolutely jump in and let that AI take over for the simplest items, but in the interest of customer experience, still have people, and expect your people to do more and do better because they're not spending all day on the simplest items, right? You can automate as much as you can and then do great for the rest of them so that you're really, really performing a great service.
That's the whole point with AI. I mean, you can't just do this with it and be like, oh, you got it. You still need to be the human in the loop. You still got to be part of it. AI enhances what you already have. It really does. If you're a crappy operator, AI is going to point that out, and you're going to be like, oh crap. You start correcting yourself. If you're
Is this like the drinking of people in bars, Jim? If they're already a jerk, they become.
That's exactly what it is.
Just
That's
a louder one.
That's exactly what it is. It just enhances what you already are. So perfect way to put it.
Crazy.
All right, who else we got going on? Someone asked Paul. Yeah, meetup recordings for sure. Again, storagemeetup.com. Go there. They're all recorded. In fact, here, let me show you this real quick. It's been a minute since I've done this. Since we're talking about lovable here. Okay. Again, this is all built there. If you go to past sessions, they're all here. We're up to 6. This is number 66, guys. It's crazy. But we have the recordings, got our key moments, make a little infographic out of it, and then I do like a 5-6 minute AI overview of our meetup. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, cool. Watch the little AI overview, you get the gist of it. But that is all here. I mean, back to day one. And I want to ask you guys this. I wasn't even thinking about doing this, but since it's up,
Go ahead. How's it going, man? How you doing?
Oh,
All right.
we'll meet you. Take a look at this. I have not really even talked about it all or anything like that, but I put this together. It's probably still kind of ugly, but I'll mess with it. For all the vendors, we get a lot of people that make comments going, who do you recommend for this? Who do you recommend for that? And there's other ones out there for sure when it comes to different vendors and what they do. I was just trying to make it a little better organized kind of a thing and a little more transparent. So, for instance, we go to here, let's click on marketing, why not? Then with marketing, you got paid ads, local SEO, going for websites, reputation management. So I'm gonna click on reputation. I think we've got storage reach. There you go, Kel. Here's our plug for you. But then you go to that, there's their information. What I'm thinking of, and I don't know, tell me if I'm opening up a can of worms here or not. But not just having this, but almost like a Google business profile where you can do reviews. I was thinking of, cool, if you're on here, they can submit to their clientele and be like, hey, give us a review, just so you can kind of hear it from the actual users of the product and not just the product selling themselves. Something I was thinking of. Again, I haven't really promoted this whatsoever, but it's kind of the framework, the skeleton's basically there for you. So look at that. If you want to give me some comments, I would appreciate feedback on that. If it's something that you think it could be valuable, I'll put more effort into actually building it out more. So
Very cool.
I'll stop sharing that. Cool. All right. Yeah, again, we got about 25 minutes left. So any comments, questions? The floor is yours, guys. Did anything come up yesterday, Jess, during your, just curious, during your webinar? Any questions or comments, or how'd it go?
Yeah, it was good. It was talking about technology and not having siloed systems, not doing manual work, and having, integrations that all work together. There's many out there, obviously. The main one would be your property management system, but you could have them for security solutions, other solutions, revenue management solutions, things like that. Just trying to train operators that, they really and obviously it's portfolio specific or property specific on what level of a tech stack they need, but they definitely need to be looking into some tech stacks for sure. So that was kind of the theme, and it is available for anybody that wants to watch the replay on the Storage Group's YouTube channel, Jim. So, and I can put a link out there at some point if people need to get to the link.
So I think that would be helpful, frankly. I don't know how many people would be willing to share it. Going back to like that, I was just showing on the storage meetup, maybe like a resource of what other operators, what's their tech stack? I don't know if that would be helpful, but I get that a lot. People just going, I'm new, what do I do? Who do I use? I don't know, maybe just seeing actual other operators have been doing this, actually seeing what their tech stack looks like. You have to let people be, you got to be transparent enough to be willing to do that. But I don't know why they wouldn't, frankly. I don't know. Something to think about. Alex, saw your hand raised.
Yes. So my director of operations, we went to one of my properties yesterday, and he said we can definitely. He's like, I think we could fit some more parking spaces against this building. We have some parking right now, and it's full. They park on grass, but it's delineated by like the fence. These other spots would go against a building and angled. And so, what's the best way and cheapest way to kind of delineate additional parking spaces when it's on grass?
On grass. One thing we
On
used
grass.
in the past, we actually used pool hose. Pool hose, like the blue or the red pool hose, and you tacked it into the ground, so you actually painted lines on it. But we use that on gravel. I don't know about grass, but pool hose worked well for us.
I've seen pool hose and fire hose.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, I used to have an RV. We called it Craptastic. It was a 1995 Class C RV. And so I rented storage for my Craptastic RV at a relatively craptastic storage facility because I wasn't interested in paying $500 a month for covered, all the amenities. So their method of the grass parking was bright yellow ropes like you would see for boats, like things like that. So it's the high reflective and all of that. But again, they just tacked it right down into the ground. And I rented there for a couple, 3 years until my RV was a little more crap than tastic, and we sold it. But that yellow rope, like the thick rope, was there the whole time, and yellow the whole time. It did the job.
Landscape block.
Cool.
You can paint unit numbers on them.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've used in the past on grass. Just mowed it down, use the landscape blocks. You can go to Home Depot, Lowe's, buy those. That's been great.
Cost $1 a piece.
Yep.
And some people use them to put their tongues for their trailers on them.
That'll
Cool.
work.
Thanks. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it. Appreciate it.
We got to ask though, Alex. Hold on. Gotta check out your background. What is that in that wall? What is that?
So it's pretty cool. I had somebody design it for me. This is Ali,
Oh,
and then
that's cool.
Wow.
Mike Tyson, and then Michael Jordan, and then
What?
Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That is
Well done.
amazing.
You got a wall of goats.
That's cool. All right. Sorry, I had to bring that up, Mike. I was trying to figure out what that was, but that's 10 times cooler than I thought it was going to be. That's awesome. That's cool.
Thank you.
Marine. Yes, Kevin, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Oh, gotcha. Going back to the AI voice agents, I think I know some of you guys have products with it, but operators out here, any operators that are actually using it right now in their operations to at least answer the initial phone calls when someone calls in to rent a unit? Because I want to start hearing more from operators that are actually using this. And this goes with Storeable guys. If any of your vendors are beta testing it and would like to come on and talk to it, because it's one of those things where, frankly, people are still afraid, I think, of jumping into it and like, oh, I don't want it to answer my phone calls. I would love just to start being able to hear more examples, samples, recordings
Jim, I know
interacting.
American Storage in North Carolina is doing it. I'll have to reach out to their team to see if I can get one of them to hop on maybe next week or whatever, just talk about it. Because I know they have their own AI one where you answer call and take the payment and things like that, and then they transfer it to a representative after the fact. So let me reach out to them because I met with them in North Carolina. I think they're doing something like that. So see if I can get a hold of them.
That'd be great. 'Cause I just think that'd be so much more useful. We can talk about it all day long, but to actually hear it and see how it's interacting with customers would speak volumes. So
Well, maybe we can get Melissa Stiles to help us out and get Andrew from 10 Federal to hop on because I know they're doing it too.
yeah, anybody. I just want some recording samples to play on this. So we've done it in the past with Patchwork, where they've come on, but that was the only ones that we've had so far that have actually, done some demos and then listened to the calls, and well, we got a huge reaction out of that. So I would love to be able to have more of those doing these.
Well, Melissa's here. Are they doing it at Sam?
Talking about.
She couldn't hear what you were talking about, Jim. Ask her the question again.
Is Sam doing anything with AI voice recordings yet on answering phones?
AI voice recordings, like that an AI agent talks back to them. We do have like the IVF, not quite yet. No.
Okay. Well, I think
Talk to Cliff at Space Shop. They do.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. Yep. Maybe we could have like a 5-minute segment of here's today's AI voice call, just so people can start listening to these things, because it ain't going anywhere. We'll go back to that again, and it's just going to be getting better. I promise you. Same kind of thing. I just talked to someone yesterday about this, going, "Oh, I've tried that. Listen to the calls." I'm like, "When was that? Like 2 months ago?" I'm like, "Throw it out the window." It's gotten so much better even since then. So
you know what? We need Maggie Bodie on here from Unity because they're doing a lot of that right now.
I'd love to get her on here.
I will ping her after this.
I've been testing Patchwork, and it seems to be working pretty well.
Who's talking? Sorry, I didn't see you. Oh,
that was Matt, right?
This is Matt. Yeah. We've been using it for about 2 months or something like that, and started with one location, and now we have it on all locations. Currently as overflow, as after hours, and if our live agent is currently on the phone. But it's pretty impressive. Getting better every day.
Yeah, you just said it. It's getting better every day. These things are not just like, oh, I've done it once, I said it, there it is, it's done. No, these things will continuously learn. That's the whole point. The more calls it goes through, and that's why, again, Patchwork is great, but I always tell them, talking with these other third-party guys making their AI voice agents, I'm like, the minute they have that built in already with the actual software, like Storeable is, and they're providing those voice agents that's already built in with the software, there's just so much more data, and it's just going to get quicker and better faster than when it's already built in. So that's kind of my stance. Is third parties are great. It's kind of fun to watch them out there, but when it's built within the actual software itself, that's when it's going to get traction for sure.
I agree, and I know Cubby got a big injection of cash for building their project out, so I'm sure that's going to be pretty impressive. I'm excited for that.
The other thing, Jim, on that point is, think about what makes AI perform well. It's having a ton of context and data and history. And one of the things we're really excited about as we push toward building these agents, not just in the voice AI realm, but we have all of the history over, literally decades of data about how your company has been performing and what it's been doing. And in some cases, tens of millions of phone calls that can be transcribed and fed in to help train the agent on, how your company wants to answer calls and say things. So
Such
we feel
an excellent point, Chuck, that all that data, somebody brand spanking new walking into the space, they just don't have it yet. Right? Like Chuck is exactly right. Having all of that is building your brain center, right? For those agents. So excellent point.
My thought on that, and because I was thinking about that same thing, is you don't know, you would have to like almost go through all the calls because you don't want to filter in shitty calls. What if that guy didn't have a good call. So like you had to like go through the transcripts and like or segment. These are really good calls where it was converted, a sales was converted, rather than loading all the calls, right? Because they can pull in also bad data. Or am I mistaken?
Yep. Yeah, you can use AI to grade the calls, and then you can say you only want ones with certain grades, that kind of thing.
Got it. That makes sense.
But Alex, on the flip side of that, you're talking about the person from your company who's handling the call and making sure that they're doing a great job. But what I would say is that you want every bit of what's coming from the caller, because every bit of that is teaching your AI agent how to handle upset callers and people who are mad about their rate increases and people who are trying to negotiate with you for a better rate than, because they're moving out from down the street, or they want price lock guarantees, or all of those things. So you want their data from those calls loaded in to build your answer system, basically.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes.
I had a question for you. I never dealt with this before. Space is space, but has anyone here know anybody or maybe done it directly using shipping containers? I just had a call a couple of days ago. Someone asking me like, "Oh, I got a bunch of space. I don't want to do, Bill. I'm just going to bring in shipping containers."
I've had clients do it in the past, Jim, but they've all been short term. Like, we're going to use shipping containers in this field until we decide what we want to do with this field, essentially, or until we decide what kind of a building we want to do, or things like that. I don't have anybody who's done it long term forever.
Jim,
they made money a while.
I was gonna say the people I've talked to long term, they struggle with it because when they do go to sell their facility, it's not part of their facility, it's an asset. And then when you're insuring that facility, unless it's stuck to the ground, it's a whole other beast and not insured. So there's a lot of pieces that go into those Connex boxes, shipping containers.
Oh, Lynn's doing an entire facility with it, she said.
Yeah, it depends on if it's attached to the ground or if it's can move.
Jim, we had one years ago. We took over a property back in the day, and it was an old facility, all containers. The problem we ran into, a lot of the floors started rotting out from the bottom up. So they were sitting on grass, and they didn't properly take care of the ground they put them on.
Oh.
And literally, when you're walking through the container, you're actually kind of stepping your way forward to make sure it's still that you didn't fall through the container.
I know exactly what site you're talking about, Jim.
I know you do, Lynn, because I think we got it from you back in the day, right?
I had my time with that property. I did. Yeah. I mean, our shipping containers, we have one property in Illinois that has over 2,100. Really? And then 2 in Colorado. Yeah. I mean, we do secure them down just like, with hurricane straps, those types of things. But it works very well. I've seen properties do it very well. The property in Illinois is so neat and so tidy. I mean, it looks like a self-storage property. And then the ones in Colorado, one is just as neat as that one in Illinois. And then there's another one there where, they just stuck them wherever they could. But there's challenges with them. But in most cases, they can perform just like a regular self-storage property, and they do.
Lynn, how did you handle the step-ups? Because that was one problem we had with the one we both dealt with, that stepping into the units, a lot of people didn't like that because you had that big lip.
Yeah, that's the only one I saw there at Souls Point there in Norfolk. The ones that we manage are kind of really flush, maybe an inch.
Okay.
So, I mean, most of the things that we deal with, those are, they tend to sink, right? If you don't have the right substructure underneath. So, you've got to be prepared to manage that as it happens.
Okay. Lynn, what was your feedback on yesterday's webinar that you guys did with Storage Defender? I thought it went really well.
I thought it went well, and it was super fun. And I thought even I walked away with a lot of great information. I know a lot of great information was given to the audience, but I think anytime we all can get together as industry professionals or just industry people that work in this industry every single day, somebody comes away from any of these seminars or these kind of get-togethers like today with something they can take back, some actionable item to make their business more profitable and more efficient.
Absolutely.
So, hey guys, this is Tom DeYoung. So talking about the portable units, if anybody wants to add some to their facility, one of my clients and I launched a little company called Upsize, and you can add portables at no charge. They do the permitting. They'll bring them in for free, and it's a revenue share model. So if you've got some space at a facility, we'd love to have you check out the website, upsizeusa.com, and see if it makes sense for you.
Tom, drop it in chat so people can click on it.
Sure.
Drop it in chat and do a show and tell one of these days. Although I think we're booked out for 2 months now, so
we're booked.
You gotta be patient.
Next week.
We are booked up, aren't we, Jim? We're up to like middle of April, I think.
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Would it be a good idea, like on a development site, while you wait for plans and permitting, if you're already zone industrial, to fill up a whole spot that's all land with those customers while you develop the building?
I mean, there's a lot of people that do portable units as more of a temporary solution. At the end of the day, the rents aren't that much different from permanent units. The downside to portables, if you have too many of them, they could affect your appraisal value. They're considered personal property unless they're bolted to the ground. So there's a lot of considerations. But adding 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 feet of portables to some excess land certainly will generate more income than parking generally would. So there's a place for them strategically.
Okay, I'm gonna look at that. I was looking at your website just now. It looks really good. I'm gonna check this out, man. Thank you.
I would have to say, though, it is a headache when you decide to finally move those containers and build, and then it's like you have 100+ tenants that you have to be like, yeah, you have to be, and some are overseas, they're military, they're like, how am I going to get my stuff out? So it becomes a little bit of a mass chaos situation. So I will forewarn everyone with that.
Point.
Love it when you hear from the ones who are like, hello, been there.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it sounds like a good idea, but yeah, I've seen a couple of those where, yeah, well, being a manager that has to do it, it's hard. It's hard to go through.
Camille, anytime you have to move anybody out of anything that they're there, even like trying to get people to move parking spots because you're going to building and they're not coming back to move stuff. We actually had the last owner that did this. We actually had to have a tow company come in and move them for them to somewhere else because they just weren't coming back, and it was delaying the construction. So it took a little bit to do that. So yeah, anytime you got to move anybody, it's a headache.
Even just one. But I mean, we've had it where an owner wanted 100, portable units moved, and it's like, oh my God, at one time.
Yeah.
Now, Camille, it'd be different if we could just put them door to door and tip it and spill everything in, but that would be a big problem. It'd be different.
Yeah.
I've heard that horror story from the big companies that used to do the pick up and delivery stuff. So yeah, I've heard those stories.
What was it? Picking up?
They said the pods, and the guy that used to work there, and he said they were driving the forklift through, and they hit a corner of a container pile, and he goes, they opened up like sardine cans.
Oh dear. So
they're calling customers saying, hey, come down and see what stuff's yours. It was not fun.
I'm still dealing with. Remember 2 weeks ago I told you about the cop hitting the police chase? If you guys weren't here, 2 weeks ago I had one of my sites. There was a police chase, and we had a row of units that they were by the street, parallel to the street. They're not behind the gate, and there was a police chase, and they chased the guy right into a storage unit, wrecked it. I knew it was gonna be a pain in the butt, but man, getting the runaround with the police is trying to get someone to talk to about who's doing what and insurance.
Did you have video footage of it?
Unfortunately, no. Plenty. That's what I'm trying to get from the cop too.
That could have gone viral,
Well, I'm trying to get that from the cops too, because I know they have dash cams.
Their dash cam, right? Yeah.
Yeah, nothing yet. I just have a lot of pictures of the aftermath.
Do you know what the guy did?
Don't know yet. Yeah.
They might have just been chasing him for some, road stop. That's how it always goes.
Exactly. Probably did something stupid, but
he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. That's
And one paying the price and dealing with all the crap afterward. Thankfully, he hit a unit that was going to auction, so it was already full of crap anyway. So that was silver lining. Didn't take much to move stuff around. Jeez. Got about 5 minutes left. Now's your chance to any questions, comments, and people that are on here too. I'd love to get some more managers. I know I've mentioned that in the past, but please, want to get some managers on here? It's very beneficial. I know someone was on here last week talking about not having raised rates in very long. Got a message afterward going, "Thank you so much." These we kind of take for granted, frankly, because people that are around here, we know what's up. We know how to operate our facilities, but I'd love to get some more managers on here that are doing they're in it day to day. It helps. It really helps.
Jim, I think the biggest thing is getting the manager to understand why you're doing. Because I'm working with a guy in Wisconsin right now. They're like 97% full. The manager, they try raising rates, and the manager, their biggest hurdle, because she's complaining about everything and all that. And I said, dude, you need to educate her on what you're doing, why. But
timeshare presentation. I have one comment. Just I have a good friend looking for I sent this to Jim in a text, looking for a regional role. He's been in the storage business probably 15 plus years, looking to just kind of make a switch. Nothing different than that. He's in the panhandle of Florida, but willing to relocate, used to traveling. So if you know anything, ping me, or we can somehow connect. But then other than that, hope to see you guys in a couple weeks in San Antonio. Is everybody going, or?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good representation, looks like.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, hopefully we can see each other on the trade show floor in the hallways. I'll be at booth 248. So be sure you bring your walking shoes and make your way to the back of the room. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll try to do like an in-person meetup. I won't be at that one, but I'll be at ISS in Vegas. I never missed the Vegas one, so we'll try to do a little in-person thing then. Matt, I saw you had a question here. I want to hurry and hit you. Where'd you go? Matt Queen?
Yeah, sorry, I'm on site here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So how important do you guys think it is that when you're picking a storage auction company, online storage auctions, that integrates with your FMS? Does that really give you that much value, or does it not matter much and just
1,000%?
Yeah.
Depends on how many headaches you want.
It depends. It depends on the volume. If you have one a year, it's really not going to move the needle for you. But if you have 10 a month and you're uploading all that information, you'd be shocked at how many managers I see set up unit 37 instead of 73, and everything's messed up. Same thing. You have a lot of states that have the public notices instead of the newspaper ads. Your FMS should be able to help you produce that as well to take away an extra step of your auction process.
What is it typically stating?
Eventually, and I can say this because I'm part of Storeable, eventually you won't even have to leave your FMS to have your auction. You'll be able to do it in a one-stop shop. So
that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, I take it a step farther and say a company like Late to Lean or even AI Lean to kind of be that bridge. I saw Andy in Texas, in Florida, and somebody asked me if it's worth it. I said, the headaches it stops for that, it's a no-brainer.
Yep.
How do they charge? Just per auction or something like that?
They per unit. And Matt, all we did when we changed our lease, we changed our lien fee from 100 to 125 to cover their costs. And actually, I was telling Camille, I told you this week, we were actually making money on auctions because people who paid their way out paid the money, and we made money. So,
wow. And do they run? They don't actually run the auctions, though, right?
No, they do all the work for the letters and the ads and all that stuff. They'll do as much or as little as you want, but I mean, for me, I had them do all the letters. They did all my ads. They posted the ads in certain states. I still had to do paper, like Pennsylvania, but they gave them back to me, and I was able to upload them right to Alana's site. So they were live on their page. So it was well worth the money.
And you also have like there's even if you don't need a big robust thing, like I love Jeff and Andy over at Late to Lean. They're an amazing group. But we do have operators who they just have write their letters or just review their lease. Then they put their letters into their FMS and use their mail house or whatever mailing service their FMS has, just so they don't have that extra step. They're willing to work with you back and forward. So they're a great group.
And you talk about bringing it all the way back to AI. One of the use cases I'm most excited about is the kind of AI agentic review helping with the auction review itself, right? Helping flag any that need extra eyes. Maybe you are missing a lease signature, any of those things. So that's something we're exploring right now too.
Great. Let's see. Come full circle there. All right, guys, that's been an hour. Time flies. But gotta do our selfie. So if it's your first time on here, turn your camera on. We gotta do our selfie here, and I gotta do it 2 times because we got enough cameras on. So count of 3. Smile pretty. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. Dun, dun, dun. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sweet. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. That was a great topic, great hour. Just flowing. Love these things. We'll do it again next week. Everyone have a great weekend. I really appreciate you taking the time and effort on being here. So that was great. See you again.
Hey, Jim, I got to thank you every week for doing this. You've made this thing fantastic for everybody. So thank you for all your work on this every week. I mean, I'm just along for the ride. I kind of like I'm like your Robin or whatever, but I just kind of help you out. But you do great work.
No,
Agreed. Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome, guys. Thanks so much. We'll keep it rolling. See you next week.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.